years in its rich and Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We're grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution to the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. I will call this meeting to order. We will have one item to add to our agenda, which is item 8.2, committee appointments, which will be with Councillor Quinn later on, our last item. And I've got one proclamation or one notification, I guess, this evening. Wear Red Canada Day, February 13th, 2023. Whereas heart disease is the #1 killer of women worldwide and the leading cause of premature death for Canadian women, a fact unknown to many women and their healthcare providers. Whereas the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance is an organization of volunteer health professionals and patients working hard to improve women's heart health. And whereas Wear Red Canada Day is celebrated annually to raise awareness for all Canadians, but especially Canadian women, to be mindful, curious, and proactive in the management of their heart health and wellness. And whereas we want to see better prevention, diagnosis, and care, and fewer women dying prematurely from heart disease. Therefore, I, Sean Panko, Mayor of the Town of Smith Falls, do hereby proclaim February 13th, 2023 as Wear Red Canada Day in the Town of Smith Falls. Okay, I'll ask for disclosure of monetary interest. We're seeing none. Delegations, we have none. Adoption of minutes is with Councillor Miller, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that the minutes of the January 16th, 2023 council meeting be approved as circulated.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Miller and seconded by Councillor Robinson that the minutes of the January 16th, 2023 council meeting be approved as circulated. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Now reports. I assume we also have some reports this evening. It's been a little bit of a while. Councillor McKenna first.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just wanted to report on, as you know, I'm one of the representatives along with yourself at the County Social Services and Corporate Services Committee. And for those who don't know, Smith Falls is partners and we have a purchase of service agreement with the county. The county's budget was just approved. It's about $120 million. It's a very large budget. And we, the Town of Smith Falls, helps fund long-term care, paramedic services, social services like Ontario Works, child development, housing. And so we pay our share for our residents to benefit from that. And we're pleased to do so. The second thing is I'm the municipality's appointee on the Leeds, Grenville, and Lanark District Health Unit. And at the most recent meeting, I was elected as the board chair for the health unit. And that will be reviewed annually. So next January, I may or may not still be in that role. And the health unit has also passed a budget, and its levy to the Town of Smith Falls will rise about 3%. So again, we pay, Smith Falls always pays our share for our residents to benefit from these important services. One of the things that the county's levy went up, or our cost with the county, was around ambulance services and paramedic services. It's an extremely busy service. And actually the station located on the edge of Smith Falls on Rideau Avenue between Montague and Smith Falls is one of the busiest in Lanark County, if not Lanark, Leeds, Grenville. It's a very active call center for land ambulance services. Finally, I would just let the public know and council members know that I did attend the Rural Ontario Municipal Association's annual conference in Toronto with a couple of my colleagues, and very interesting and well worth the time to go to that. Attended sessions on the impact and where they're at with reassessing our property values in Ontario, and nothing in 2023 at this point. They're waiting for a revision to provincial legislation before starting that up again. And there were a number of others, including the trade show that I attended, that were added a lot of value to me personally. And I hope over the next couple of years to return that investment through my work around this table. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Miller, I think you had your hand up too.
I did, thank you. So I recently attended the Downtown Business Association board meeting with many new board members, lots of enthusiasm. It was the inaugural meeting of their new board, and Elizabeth Wood from Say2 Bakery has been elected as their new board chair. So we thank her for her leadership. They plan to build on the success of previous marketing initiatives, and they're aiming to run about 4 downtown promotional events in 2023. I also attended the Arts Council board meeting recently, and they're working on the town's art master plan and are planning a spring fundraiser and an art sale, and there's more details to come soon. Also, one of their members asked me to share that the Station Theatre has a very busy season planned. Hopefully everyone gets their newsletter, and many groups are renting out the theatre now to bring new shows to Smiths Falls, so you can check out their website or their Facebook page for more details.
Thank you. Yes, I believe Harvey is starting in February. Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. I also attended the Roma conference in Toronto. It was the first time that I got to attend anything like that, and I was very impressed with the information that was offered and the people that I met. Councillor McKenna and I both attended one thing together. It was on asset management. I found that quite informative and interesting to participate in. Another one that I attended was, previous council will know all about this, but the public may not. It was about Blue Box transition and the circular economy, which Smiths Falls is actually going live on that, I believe, the 1st of July. We're going to start to transition. The biggest thing about that is that the producers are now, they're moving away from single-use plastics, and the Blue Box program is going to be producer funded instead of taxpayer funded. So that's going to save the town quite a bit of money. And the rationale behind that is diversion is dropping, costs are rising, and it's getting harder to find markets for some of the packaging. So that's the reason that they came up with this, and it starts this year. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Thank you.
Any additional reports? I've got a couple of my own. Like Councillor McKenna, I attended the county meetings as well as the county budget meeting, and to Councillor McKenna's comments. Our shared services agreement, I think was mentioned in our budget meetings, up $269,000 this year, and that's a reflection of just the cost of doing business at the county level. But again, we're very supportive of this agreement with the county that enables us to provide vital services to our community. I too attended the Roma conference on January 22nd to 24th. A lot of value in Jesse Wente's presentation, main stage presentation. He's an Indigenous advocate. I talked about unreconciled, making meaningful change, very relevant to some of the things we're trying to do in Smiths Falls and with our racism and discrimination task force in the past, and as we move forward with our diversity committee. Attended a great session on welcoming newcomers to rural Ontario. Of course, as Ontario prepares to welcome in probably about 250,000 new immigrants a year, there's an anticipation many will land in rural areas, and obviously vital to help support our workforce development and the growth and diversity of our communities. So some great insights from that, great information I picked up afterwards actually from one of the presenters, and I think will help guide our development of our diversity committee. Other sessions I attended: solutions for healthy rural communities, decarbonizing the Ontario energy system. And then I think Councillor McKenna mentioned this in a previous committee of the whole meeting, but Dr. Homer Dixon is an author and professor, and Finding Hope Amid the Poly Crisis. And and the challenges that we all face in this world today. So definitely great value in attending the Roma conference and all the municipal conferences that we all have an opportunity to attend on an annual basis. On January 26th, along with Councillor Maguire, I attended the Police Services Board meeting. This was the first meeting of the new board, and I was elected chair, board member Rob Dobson, vice chair. So we will be working hard at trying to provide that governance to the police service over this term of council. On January 28th, I attended the Chinese New Year celebration at United Church. Always a lot of fun, great insight, great food, great connections, and thanks to Peter Rao and his family and the other members of the Chinese and Canadian Heritage Cultural Association for bringing this back. Of course, it had been quieted by the pandemic, but it's great to have everyone back together and celebrating the Chinese New Year. And on February 1st, along with some other members of council, I attended the grand opening at SIP. And just great to have another new eatery in our community. We wish Jamie and his team outstanding success. Obviously a great location, and we look forward to enjoying meals at SIP. And that's it for my reports. We have a number of bylaws tonight. We're going to start with the proceedings of council bylaw with Councillor Quinn, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meetings on the 16th of January 2023 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting on the 16th of January 2023 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? It's carried. Discussion, Councillor Quinn?
This is just a normal thing that happens so that we know that all our meetings have been confirmed, and if there was anything that wasn't quite right within that, we would see it, pick up on it and have it changed. So everything is definitely where it should be.
Thank you. May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council at its meetings on the 16th of January 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10410-2023.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meetings on the 16th, day of January 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10410-2023. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Councillor Maguire, you have the next bylaw.
Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to rescind bylaw 10266-2021, being a bylaw to adopt a vaccination policy for the town of Smith Falls, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Maguire and seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to rescind bylaw 10266-2021, being a bylaw to adopt a vaccination policy for the town of Smith Falls, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, please, Councillor Maguire.
Thanks, Your Worship. This is a bit of housekeeping from the pandemic. Now that things have opened up again, we're rescinding the bylaw to go back to normal.
Thank you. Further comments, Councillor Brennan?
Yeah, since the council previously enforced this, I think that we should have a recorded vote on this one. It's an important vote.
That's fine. Any further comments? No? Okay, maybe a third reading, please.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to rescind bylaw 10266-2021, being a bylaw to adopt a vaccination policy for the town of Smith Falls, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10411-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Maguire and seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to rescind bylaw 10266-2021, being a bylaw to adopt a vaccination policy for the town of Smith Falls, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10411-2023, and a recorded vote has been requested.
With respect to bylaw 10411-2023, please state yay or nay. Councillor Brennan?
Yay.
Councillor Maguire?
Yay.
Counselor McKenna,
Yay.
Counselor Miller,
Yay.
Counselor Robinson,
Yay.
Counselor Quinn,
Sorry, yay.
and Mayor Panko.
Yay.
Thank you.
It's
This
been
motion,
carried.
this bylaw is carried.
Thank you. Okay, Councillor McKenna, you have the next bylaw.
Yes, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize temporary borrowing during the fiscal year ending December 31st be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize temporary borrowing during the fiscal year ending December 31st be received for the first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor McKenna?
Now, this is pretty standard risk management step that the municipality takes in the unlikely event that some of our revenues were delayed and we had to make a payroll payment. We would be able to temporarily borrow some money to get through that. It's something we've rarely, if ever, used in the past, but it's a tool that we put in place each year to allow staff in the unlikely event something untoward happens.
Thank you. Any further comments? May I have a third reading, please?
Yes, again, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize temporary borrowing during the fiscal year ending December 31st be now read a third time and finally passed, signed and sealed and numbered 10412-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize temporary borrowing during the fiscal year ending December 31st be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed and numbered 10412-2023. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And Councillor Robinson, you're up next. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, everybody. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to prescribe standards for the maintenance and occupancy of property be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Robinson and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to prescribe standards for the maintenance and occupancy of property be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Discussion, please, Councillor Robinson.
This is just a way to for staff and us to set out standards for the maintenance of properties and of like buildings and and backyards stuff, you know. That's about all I can say.
Okay. Any further comments from anyone? May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to prescribe standards for the maintenance and occupancy of property be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10413-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Robinson and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to prescribe standards for the maintenance and occupancy of property be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10413-2023. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor Miller, you have our next bylaw.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw requiring yards to be maintained and safe be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Miller and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw requiring yards to be maintained and safe be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Miller.
Thank you. This includes some provisions for naturalized properties, lawns and gardens, and just a special thank you to the staff and Dillon Consulting for their work on this.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw requiring yards to be maintained and safe be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. Nope. Should I try that again? Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw requiring yards to be maintained and safe be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10414-2020.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councillor Miller and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw requiring yards to be maintained and safe be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10414-2023. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor Quinn, you're up next.
Thank you, Worship. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to authorize the execution of a loan renewal agreement with the Royal Bank of Canada be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to authorize execution of a loan renewal agreement with the Royal Bank of Canada be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Quinn?
This is a loan that we have had for a while and will continue to have for a few years. And so it's just renewing the agreement with the bank so that we continue to have this loan in place.
Thank you. Any further discussion? May I have a third reading, please?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to authorize execution of a loan renewal agreement with the Royal Bank of Canada be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10415-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to authorize execution of a loan renewal agreement with the Royal Bank of Canada be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10415-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Councillor McKenna, you have our next bylaw.
Yes, your worship, moved by myself, second by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to lift part lot control for the lands described as blocks 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, and 14 of registered plan 27M-102 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Brennan. The bylaw to lift part lot control for the lands described as blocks 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, and 14 of registered plan 27M-102 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Third reading, please. Oh, sorry, discussion, please. Councillor McKenna.
I was planning to go to the third reading. Yes, your worship, as we know, Parkview Homes has been building, this particular bylaw is referring to townhouses in particular, rather than single lots. And once the foundations are in, the actual surveying can be done so it's 101% accurate. And then the lots can be registered. So this is just making sure that that was done properly and in place before this lot control was lifted.
Thank you. Any further discussion? And I believe this enables these 28 homes to now move on
Right.
to occupancy of the new homeowners.
Yeah.
We have a third reading, please.
Yes, again, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brennan, that a bylaw to lift part lot control for the lands described as blocks 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, and 14 of registered plan 27M-102 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, and sealed and numbered 10416-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Brennan that a bylaw to lift part lot control for the lands described as blocks 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, and 14 of registered plan 27M-102 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10416-2023. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor Brennan, you have the next one.
Yeah, I got the big one. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to adopt estimates of the sums required for municipal purposes for the year 2023 be received and read a first time, and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. This is first and second reading only we'll be doing tonight. This will allow any public consultation to occur, any public feedback, anyone wants to get back to any member of council with their thoughts regarding this budget. It'll come back for third reading on January 21st. It is moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Miller that a bylaw to adopt estimates of the sums required for municipal purposes for the year 2023 be received read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? That's carried. And Councillor Brennan, do you just want to make a few highlight points?
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a property tax increase of 3.38%. And, you know, we do this reluctantly. However, everyone's facing inflation and that includes the municipality and our costs as well. So we're well below that number. And so I welcome to hear from any of the taxpayers in this 2-week period to discuss it. But, you know, we don't do this lightly, but I would look around our area and look at neighboring municipalities. I think we've done a pretty good job here. And you know, I look forward to hearing comments from my neighbors and the taxpayers of Smith Falls.
Thank you. Anyone else want to add a comment? Okay, well, we'll revisit this on the 21st. Moving on, Councillor Brennan, you also have the next bylaw.
Yeah, I've got all the good news. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 8712, 2014, being a bylaw to establish and regulate maintenance operations and management of the water system and establish rates and other service charges for use of the system be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Miller. The bylaw to amend bylaw 8712-2014, being a bylaw to establish and regulate the maintenance, operations, and management of the water system, and to establish the rates and other service charges for use of the system, be received or read the first time and taken as read the second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Brennan.
Yeah, we're doing this all at once today because we have to recover the cost for the water and the wastewater. The wastewater is going to be increasing by 3.5, the water at 5.5. And I would invite people to look at the capital budget for these services that they receive, which are very big, and it's expensive, and it's one of the most important things we do. So, you know, we keep hearing talk about the province mandating full cost recovery. If we did that, it would be a heck of a lot higher than it is now, and it's not written in regulation. So, you know, it's got to come from somewhere, and so the balance up, which I think is around $600,000, is going to be recovered off the tax base. But everyone's paying the same taxes, so I think it's reasonable this year. And again, compared to other municipalities, I think we're doing okay.
Thank you. Any further comments? May I have a third reading, please?
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw, being a bylaw to establish and regulate maintenance, operations, and management of the water system and establish rates and other service charges for use of the system, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10418/2023. And I think we should have a recorded vote on this as well, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 8712-2014, being a bylaw to establish and regulate the maintenance, operations, and management of the water system, and to establish the rates and other service charges for use of the system, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10418-2023, and a recorded vote has been requested.
With respect to bylaw 10418-2023, please state yay or nay. Councillor Brennan,
Yay.
Councillor McGuire,
Yay.
Councillor McKenna,
Yay.
Councillor Miller,
Yay.
Councillor Quinn,
Yay.
Councillor Robinson,
Yay.
and Mayor Panko.
Yay.
This bylaw is carried.
Thank you. That's it for our bylaws. We have one more piece of business with back to you, Councillor Brennan.
Good luck.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that the council of the corporation of the town of Smith Falls award RFP 22-PW-009 to EVB Engineering for professional services for the detailed design and tender preparation for the construction of a new water tower and extension of a new trunk water main. Further, that upon approval of the 2023 budget, council authorized the mayor and clerk execute a contract agreement with EVB Engineering in the amount of $244,365, excluding HST.
Thank you. Further discussion, Councillor Brennan.
Yeah, we discussed this, and this tender came in, and it's a two-part project, and actually we've hired the same company do the project, and I think that makes sense, as we talked about last week. And this is the first step, or one of the steps, to one of the major projects we're going to be doing in probably in 20 years in Smith Falls, securing a new water tower to provide clean water to our citizens. So it's the first step. It's not just $244,000 to do it all. So we're just starting out.
Thank you. Any further comments? Moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Robinson. The Council of the Corporation of Town of Smith Falls award RFP 22-PW-009 to EVB Engineering for professional services for the detailed design and tender preparation for the construction of a new water tower and extension of a new trunk water main. And further, upon approval of the 2023 budget, council authorized the mayor and clerk to execute a contract agreement with EVB Engineering in the amount of $244,365, excluding HST. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And now our final piece of business, Councillor Quinn.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that the council of the corporation of the town of Smith Falls appoint the following applicants to various boards and committees for the 2022 to 2026 term of council, or until new appointments are made via a resolution. Heritage House Museum Advisory Board, Emily Parker, Gary Lackey, Mark Gallagher, William Manhire, and Tamara Taylor. Public Library Board, Marilyn Murphy. These are the appointees that have been approved this evening.
Discussion, any further discussion on that, Councillor Quinn?
We're very pleased to have these people volunteering to sit on these boards. This is what keeps our town and many of these organizations going. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I think anyone else? It's moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Robinson. The Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls appoint the following applicants to various boards and committees for the 2022 to 2026 term of council until new appointments are made via resolution. Heritage House Museum Advisory Board, Emily Parker, Gary Lackey, Mark Gallagher, William Manhire, Tamara Taylor. Public Library Board, Marilyn Murphy. All in favor? That's it. That's carried. Thank you. That's our final piece of business. Any inquiries or announcements? Yes, Councillor Miller.
Thank you. So Big Brothers Big Sisters is hosting their 43rd annual Tim Hortons Bowl for Kids' Sake fundraiser on February 18th. I know some of you, as my colleagues, are participating. Thank you for that. It is a very large piece of the annual budget. If anyone is interested in more information, you can check out lanark.bigbrothersbigsisters.ca. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor McKenna.
Well, we haven't done this for a while. Councillor Brennan started it over about 4 years ago. It's a little bit of trivia about Smith Falls, if I may. All right. Which Smith Falls company sells its products to over 50 countries around the world?
Gilliland Instruments.
Well, you didn't put your hand up, but
Oh,
Councillor McGuire.
what is?
Good one.
I would encourage the public to look at their website. It's absolutely fascinating. They've been in Smiths Falls since 1957. They chose Smiths Falls because it was close to Ottawa National Research Council for their work. And they attract some of the best and brightest minds in the world because they set the standard, them and maybe one US competitor. But Guildline sets the standard for the work and for the product they provide worldwide. It's just phenomenal what that little company does around the world. And we're delighted to have them here since 1957. And there's a lot more detail on their website.
Thank you. And my mother worked there, so I had the inside edge.
Okay.
Okay, who's doing the next one?
Yeah, need a volunteer. I think we should pick one of the new members of council.
Yes,
Oh, I saw Councillor Miller raise her eyebrows, so thank you, Jennifer, for volunteering. Okay, adjournment. Back to you, Councillor McKenna.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Brennan, that council adjourn its proceedings at 7:11 and stands so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. It's moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Councillor Brennan. This council adjourns proceedings at 7:11 PM and stands so adjourned to the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor?